Hello, everybody. Oh, let me try this again. Oh, much better. Good morning, everyone. I'm just clicking on that. Welcome back to my little corner of the world. I'm Abby Hagyard, and if you were not someone who watched You Can't Do That on television, then that costume means nothing to you. If you didn't watch the Care Bears, then those Care Bear pictures over there mean nothing to you either. But I made my name kind of by accident on a couple of cartoon series, Care Bears and Teddy Ruxpin and For Better For Worse, and but the big hit, the big surprise for us in Ottawa, Canada, was how huge You Can't Do That on Television suddenly got when Nickelodeon, who was distributing us, sublicensed us to the U.S. Armed Forces Network, and suddenly there we were in 53 countries around the world, changing the minds and the lives and the attitudes and the outlooks of military children, brats, or us, forever. Because we gave them a totally different way to look at family and what you can and cannot do in real life, let alone on television. So that's my backstory. Why I'm here now is because everything kind of cycles, and the reason I decided to start doing these videos. This, by the way, is video number 323. And for those of you just joining me, I do them every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. I usually refer to Tuesday as Shoes Day for obvious reasons, and Thursday is Thor's Day because I have Viking ancestors. So I decided to start doing these videos, 323, so that would be 160 something weeks ago, because I wanted to get back in the swing. I wanted to get back on camera. I wanted to get back talking to people in Abby's voice and in Mom's voice, to give you a choice of what kind of advice and insights on life you would like to have, whether you would like the military brat who has survived just about everything, or if you would like Valerie Prevert, who also survived just about everything, if you consider all those children and all those characters that Leslie played, and let's not forget the slime. And my concept is something called pivotry in motion. Pivotry is how we shift the way we think in order to shift the way we do, the way we plan, the way we talk, the way we act, the way we engage, the way our outcomes take place. So the whole idea in talking about pivotry, so a pivot is a hard turn. Pivotry is a creative turn. It is a rethink and a reassess. And sometimes it's just a question of a matter of degrees, right? The idea is that if we understand that we can, if we understand that we have all these different shades to our personality, all these different layers within us. I mean, over my shoulder here, there are 3 Care Bears. There's 4 or 5 characters from Teddy Ruxpin. There's Ellie Patterson, and there's Valerie Mom, and all the other characters that I played on You Can't Do That on Television. And that's just the career. That has nothing to do with the Abby different layers. And so by sharing the way we can shift, how we can use the part of us that's best suited to own the moment, we win. And that's the whole point. We want to win. We're Vikings. No matter where you think you're from, sooner or later, somewhere along the way, somebody in your past met a Viking. Almost guarantee it. So the conversation today, the theme today, is basically, if we're struggling with the decisions we made, the New Year's resolutions, and even if it's not one of those things, it's okay, 2025, I'm serious. Good morning, Freddie. Even if it's not a resolution, even if you just decided this is the time that I'm going to do this instead of that. Sky and I were talking yesterday about the crazy thing is how close our comfort zone is to the thing we want, to the magic. Good morning, Eddie. What is crazy is that in order to engage the magic, in order to flip the switch, we must step out of our comfort zone. The reason we resist it, the reason it's such a struggle, is because the comfort zone is comfortable. The comfort zone is familiar. And back in the day when we lived in caves, familiar meant safe. Everybody was always on the lookout for something that was different, because different probably meant danger. And so, because that's kind of how we're wired, good morning, Danielle. Because that's how we're wired, it's our default. When you have to reset your computer for some reason and return it to the default without any of the extra special improvements we made, that's the way our bodies work. That's the way our subconscious works, our mind works, our autopilot works, unless we're on top of it. Good morning, Sky. Did you just hear me talk about you? So what is so important to understand is that there is an autopilot, and it does keep us alive and well. It's the part of the brain that says every so often the heart has to beat, and every so often we have to swallow and chew and turn this way and lean that way and get some sleep. And morning, hon, and good morning, Warren. Oh, the gang's getting all here. How exciting. So the whole concept today for the theories that I'm going to share with you for the video today. Tomorrow is the middle of January, and I always have a feeling myself that the middle of a month, the Ides of the month, much like that story about Caesar and Rome, the Ides of the month, it's the middle, it's a turning point. We head into a new section of time. We turn the page on the calendar, even if it's an artificial construct, and we say, okay, this is what I'm doing. When we suddenly realize we're at the middle of the month, we start feeling that we haven't done enough, that what on earth was I doing with all my time? Where did it all go? Why am I not suddenly all the way where I'm meant to be? And we start beating ourselves up. So the theme today is, are we changing the wrong things? Are we focusing on the wrong thing? And is that why we're struggling? So the interesting image that I found the other day, cheers, by the way. The interesting image I found the other day were two roughly hand-drawn circles. Comfort zone was big, change was small. The thing is that they were very close together on purpose. So you can look at that image two ways. Well, many ways, but let's go with two. The first one you can look at is where I am and where I want to be. It's really close. I mean, I can almost reach out and touch it. Probably if I got a good run at it, I could just, right? The other way to look at it that we often take is, oh, so near and yet so far. I mean, if only I could just roll over and it's there. Well, okay, but it is so near as opposed to far. And if we are saying, oh, poor me, if only, then we're not going to do it. And the reason I know we're not going to do it in that frame of mind is because we're finding reasons not to. And I'm going to explain to you what those reasons are. And they're completely non-thinking choices, okay? You can't blame yourself. You shouldn't blame yourself. You mustn't blame yourself because they're autopilot, okay? So if we tell ourselves, I have to, I really should, I have to, I need to, it's got to happen, I must, what we are doing is we are scaring ourselves. We are using words that are confrontational. We are using words that are a challenge, that are poking us, and they're harsh. I have to. Well, no, you don't. You can stay where you are. You can stay in your comfort zone until it's a discomfort zone, until you've outgrown it completely. You don't have to change. The fact is, change happens with or without us. We grow taller and older, whether we like it or not. But if you choose to stay fixed in a mindset, no, and you knew it, okay, that's entirely yours to own. All you. Go get them or go don't get them. If we change, oh, I know, I really should, blah, blah. Okay, take out should. Take out all of the future tense. I would if only. I sound like Wish Bear. I wish. Um, we don't need to would. We don't need to could. We don't need to should. Because the future isn't here. The present is here. Here is where, in this moment, we decide simply for this moment that I am. I am. Not I'm going to, that's future. I am. I am writing down one sentence. What is the sentence? Today, my priority is. One thing. Today, my priority is. The reason we focus on one thing is because there's no point in making a big list until we've done the one thing. Now, last night, if you make a plan for the next day, the night before, sure, make a list. Sure, put them in the order of priority, priority, priority. But if it is a priority, then the first one has to happen. If something breaks, if something doesn't arrive on time, the first one takes longer. And then we beat ourselves up because we didn't get all 47 other things done. So focus on the thing. I am doing this today. I am recording my 323rd video with you today. Good morning, Charles. How's Kat? How are you? Everything we want to do together in these videos, in this group, in this Unforgettables group. I woke up this morning and Sky had posted 600. We made our 600 the day before the 15th. We, honestly, kids, we have 600 members of an open, a public Facebook group that I called We Are the Unforgettables. I opened this group on November the 15th. Tomorrow is January the 15th. And I said last week, wouldn't it be amazing if we could get 600 by January 15th? Because that would mean we were growing by 300 people a month, roughly 10 people a day. That's incredible. But then, of course, we are the Unforgettables. And so why wouldn't we be able to, right? So that was my wake-up call this morning. My little phone goes bing. I looked at it and it said 600. And I thought, what is 600? Oh my gosh, yay. That was our priority for tomorrow. It arrived early. We can thank everybody who decided to join in order to help us hit the milestone. And now we have a different priority that we can move up to first spot. So Sky was saying the other day, when she saw the comfort zone and change, and she said that she was taking on this challenge, doing a lot of things outside the comfort zone. And I said, well, there's a hack, and I will share it with you. And we will then talk about it another time. Oh, you did a grave shift last night. You must be exhausted. That really messes with your internal clock, right, Charles? Chris, you're here. Sorry you're late. Dealing with dogs. Good morning, everyone. And of course, Abby. And so you think the audition went well? Very exciting. Chris decided to audition for a role in a show. You think it went well? How many thumbs? How many thumbs, Chris? Let us know. So the words we don't want to use anymore. Pick up a weapon of construction. Pick up a weapon of mass construction. Get a sheet of paper and write down the words you would prefer to use less often. Okay? No, never. Just be kind to yourself. Okay? We want to minimize the use of the words should, would, and could. We want to minimize the use of the word but. But is defeats the purpose of whatever you said before it. I would love to do this, but. Okay, that means you're not doing it. Why? Because would is future and but is delete what I just said. And Kat twisted her ankle. Oh my gosh, Charles. Ow. So if we get rid of would, could, should, and the word but is this annoying word that you try and attach too many things to. So instead of saying, I would love to, but all that we hear is all the excuses and all the reasons why not. So instead of that, say, oh, what a great idea. What a great invitation. Thank you. Next time. And if somebody says, oh, why not now? You can explain. Don't say but. So that's would, could, should, and but. Less often. When you hear yourself, catch yourself. Change it. We can change it. We can change our autopilot words, right? Okay. So is the word just, to quote a wise Viking. Just sounds, yes, condescending. It's just a minute. Yeah, don't do that. People don't say, if you say it's a just thing you are doing, you mean wise, you mean fair, you mean reasonable. But if you say it's just a twisted ankle, I'm sorry, twisted ankle is a big deal. It may not be much to you, and thanks for the condescending. So yes, Eddie is absolutely right. Would, could, should, but, and just. 5 words to slowly, slowly, slowly remove and replace. Well, what am I going to do instead of but? And, or just end the sentence. Yes, next time. Not, oh, I would love to. Now you're a victim. Brilliant idea. Next time. Got to do it next time. Why? What's going on? I got stuff. I'll explain later. Simpler, easier, and you don't subject us to all the reasons we are number 2 on your list, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is I have to. I need to. I must. I want. I'm going to explain to you what those words are actually saying to all your energy. Those words, I have to, I need to, I must, I want to. What they are saying is, I do not have the power. I do not own the decision. The decision is imposed on me. It is out of my reach. I am required to do it. And it's putting us in a downhill, downslope position that means we have to struggle to reach level ground. I have to, I must, I need to, I want to. Those make every next thing you think and say a struggle before you even try, because you're telling your brain you have no power and it's going to be difficult before you even put your socks on. So if we talk, what do we do then, Abby? What do we do? If I can't say this and this and this, what am I supposed to say instead? Well, first of all, you say cheers. I'm just going to read Chris for a second. 60 plus people auditioning for 10 parts. Well, that's pretty good. That's about average. You think you did well? Good, good, good. Should know something before Thursdays. Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. Well done. Well done for doing. Well done for going. Well done for saying, why not? Really? Why not? Okay, so back to the exercise. We're going to make a promise to ourselves to use a little Post-it note or something, and the words we want to get out of the autopilot habit of using are but, should, would, could, and just. Okay, we're going to try our best. We're going to aim at shifting out of those words. The best way to eliminate a habit is to replace it with a habit. Just going cold turkey is very difficult, and it's easy to forget a day, skip a day, and then skip another day, and then skip another day. So if you replace it with a habit and the other habit is more helpful, then what we get is new, stronger wiring in the brain, and the old habit just gradually fades away. Easy peasy. So what we say instead of but is however. What we say instead of but, what we say instead of but is, first of all, we stop trying to put two sentences together. Typically what we say, oh my God, I'd love to, I know I should, but. Okay, don't do that. Put a period after the first half of the sentence. Just stop. Great idea. Period. However, great idea, period. Next time. Oh no, what do you mean? I got stuff. Next time. Let's make a date right now. Stronger sentences, more involved, more connected. Should means future. Would means future. Could means future. Let's talk now. Well, how do I explain? How do I talk about the thing that is scheduled for next week? Can you come next week? Instead of saying I should be able to, say, let me check, I'll get back to you. Would you be able to? Let me check, I'll get back to you. Could you? Let me check, I'll get back to you. We kind of need to know now. Good, give me 5 minutes, I'll get back to you. What is that doing? That is placing the decision to respond in the present, and it is putting the ownership in our hands. And you know this really crazy thing happens right away with no effort at all. We're walking here. We own it. We're the ones in charge. We are using clear language. We are stating things we know, as opposed to vague, I don't know, maybe, gosh, wouldn't it, shouldn't it, couldn't it be? Get rid of those. They're unhelpful. They're filler. What we want is the real stuff. So that's step one. Step two, what do we say instead of all these others have to, need to, I must, I want? There are really only 3 words, unless I found another one, did I? Yeah, I found 4. So have to, need to, I must, I want. Here are the other 4 words. You ready? Okay. Be means I am. Do means I am. Have means I have. I am. And here's the best one. This is the magic. This is the over the top Shazam wow. I deserve. I deserve a party. Let me get back to you. I deserve a night out. I'll check my schedule. I am ready for a breath of fresh air. I have all the time in the world for something like this. I do know for sure this is my priority. I am front and center, leaning in. Do you see the difference? And Freddie, it's you're right, except for one thing. Do not say, let me check. Good morning, Nikki. Do not say, let me check. You are asking permission to check. They do not give you permission. You say, I'll check and I'll get back to you. You see, we do not give away our power. We do not give away permission to cross our boundaries because they're ours. People must be invited. You don't leave your front door to your home, to your apartment open so that anybody can wander in randomly for no particular reason. we don't leave the car doors open with the keys in the ignition or the fob next to the ignition. Why? Because somebody would say, oh, look, it's my new ride. We take care of what is ours to own. We do that with our belongings. We do that with our passions and our priorities. If we can do those things, if we have the ability to do those things, then we have the ability to state the rules. There's a famous saying, which I'm now going to have to paraphrase, of course, the minute I brought it up, is that we teach people how to treat us. We all learn, every single one of us, we all learn by example. We all learn by observing and mirroring and imitating the people who teach us. Except for the fundamental functions, the swallowing, the breathing, the blinking, and whatnot, everything we learn is by example. See it, copy it, practice it. If we, with our language, with our behavior, with our attitude, teach others that we do not feel that we own our moment, then they will own it for us. Everybody takes the shape of their container. We're all like water, right? I notice now, Jason, what are you saying here? I notice that when I think in too many variables, yes, I get nothing done. Yes, overthinking can be damaging. Yes, I do have a tendency to think in should or would when I should. When I should be thinking. When, so here's the sentence, it's difficult. You see how sneaky that is, Jason? You're actually talking about it and then you use it. It's so insidious. So how do we fix that sentence? I do have a tendency to think in should or would when I am perfectly capable of thinking what is. I have the ability. I deserve to own. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's so sneaky. You would be surprised how often, if you get a personal friend and say, every time I say the word but, repeat it to me. Just say the word but back to me. Why? Because I want to stop saying it. Okay. There is a phase in life when we're teenagers when we say things like, you know. So like, you know, those are 4 words that are filler. They have no function. It's a stutter. It's what do you call that? It's when you turn off the car and it goes whatever that is, that engine cough. Okay. Like, you know, are filler. Start a sentence without those things. Very difficult. Very difficult until somebody makes it very clear to you that you have this habit. Same with but. Any word that you find you're overusing, somebody says, do you realize how often you use that word? Okay, then the challenge becomes, correct me the minute I do it. It's like with dogs. You know, if they make a mistake, if they do something, if they eat something, if they don't wait to go outside to pee, it's right then that you have to correct them. You can't have a conversation with them an hour later. They don't know what you're talking about. Is it supper? No? Okay. So my conversation virtually, vicariously here with Sky and with all of you is that as we are coming round the corner into the Ides of January, decisions we may have made in the later part of December, lists we may have made at the turning of the calendar year, are things that we can do better with if we review every day. If we make the list short. I'm going to tell you a very quick story. A fellow asked me at a public forum. I used to do this Q&A, 15 minutes with Abby. Ask me anything. Don't ask me ahead of time. Ask me anything. And in front of an audience, I'll give you my advice. And I'm going to be doing this again, by the way, only I'm going to give you the choice. You can ask Abby or you can ask Mom for the advice. You'll get very different answers. Anyway, this fellow said to me that he'd been to the doctor, and the doctor had said, okay, it's not terribly serious. However, it is serious. And what I'd like you to do is start a bucket list. So this fellow, in front of an audience at a Comic-Con, audience of, I don't know, 300 people, said, this is what the doctor said. What do you advise? And I was not prepared for that question. I thought I was going to get a funny question. And I said, well, the thing about a list is that before we know it, we're focused on making a list of things. What the doctor really said was prioritize. Don't put off the things that matter. How to prevent yourself from doing that is to write them down. That's what he really meant. And I said, let's just think about your first bucket. What if you have a bucket and all the other buckets are back ordered? What's in the first bucket? The one you have. And he told me. And I said, there you go. Do that. Do that, do that, do that, do that until you say, okay, really? Don't need to do that anymore. And then the next bucket will be ready for you. Wow, thanks, Abby. That's a really great idea. So when we struggle, when we are apprehensive, when we feel overwhelmed, and we don't complete steps that we are excited about, we start the blame game. We start the shame game. What is wrong with you? If you really wanted it, this is why you never blah, 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 blah. The reason it's difficult to follow through on the list is because we're using language, we're talking to ourselves in ways that are exhausting. What we need to do is give ourselves what we need to do. What is valuable to us is to hug, not slug. It's so exciting to say, my favorite thing. Today, I do my favorite thing. Not I have to, not I need to, not I want to. Today, I am doing my favorite thing. If there's a delay, bus doesn't come, a bunch of snow falls, somebody slips and falls. Today, I am doing my favorite thing. I am being a responsible person. I'm looking after, I'm experiencing an opportunity to be patient, to recognize that priorities shift. I'm learning a lesson. I'm writing that lesson down. In the next moment, in the moment coming, I'm doing my favorite thing. So exciting. Instead of saying, I can't wait, remove the word can't. And say instead, it's so exciting to count down the minutes, the moments. It's so exciting knowing it's almost here. If we can, I think I would go with asking you as much as I love the character mom. I know I'm going to get as much more in-depth answer instead. Go ask your father. Warren, I can tell you with complete honesty that I would never in a million years as mom, if I'm not scripted, ever say, go ask your father. I promise you, I would never say that. How, I do use it. And of course, the response is, no, you tell me because I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Oh, Jason, it is difficult to shake that habit. It is. It is difficult to shake a habit. That's why you don't shake a habit. You replace it with a different habit, Jason. That's the whole point. If we make it difficult, we're not having any fun. The whole point of growing, the whole point of saying, I own that. I own that. I chose the color. You're going to love it when you see it. How do you handle the long line of customers? One at a time. Yeah. The thing about this language that we use is we get, again, in a habit of using subjective words that have no actual tangible meaning. And, I want to kind of wrap this with the process I created. When you see people, we automatically greet. We say, how are you? How are you? And the response is in a cadence that makes you know they're not really having a conversation with you. Hi, how are you? Fine, and you? So I stopped saying that. I now say, how's your day going? On a scale of 1 to 10, how's your day? Not how are you doing? Are you winning or losing? No. How is the day? Is the day unfolding as expected? How's your day on a scale of 1 to 10? They stop. It's a number they get to pick. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the top, how is it? It's a 4. Actually, you know what? It's not a 4. No, it's more like an 8. All right, then. If they say, oh, it's a 4, you say, what number do you want? What number are you looking for? They say, well, I'd like an 8. All right, then. That's the goal. See you later. See them the next day. Say, how close did we get to an 8? And they realize that when they spoke to you, you heard them, you remembered what they said, which means you listened, which means they matter. And everybody is suddenly a little, actually, yeah, it's a funny thing. It did get to be an 8 because interesting story that happened to them. Now, how magnificent a difference is that? How cool is that? Step out of the comfort zone. How are you? Fine, and you? That's the comfort zone. Take that step and say something tangible. On a scale of 1 to 10, how is the day? The day is being very creative. The people who are dealing in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area with the fires, not asking how's the fire. I'm asking how's your day? On a scale of 1 to 10, how's your day? It's been better. So what is it? A 6, a 5, an 11? Yeah, I don't know, maybe a 7. Good. Better than a 2, right? Yeah. Yeah, you got a point. Yeah, you got a point. It is better than 2. Yeah, thanks. See what happens? What we are doing, and Sky, if you're still with me, what we are doing is we are removing our unspoken definition that comfort zone wins and change is scary. We have no reason to fear change. And I'll tell you why. We have the ability to leverage change. I want you to think of, as a classic image, it's an American surfer, and they're all the way out, and in front of them, a wave coming toward the beach begins to build. And as we watch, the wave is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the surfer is paddling and paddling and paddling to get up to the momentum of the cresting wave, paddling as fast as they can. The wave's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The surfer's paddling and paddling. Finally, the surfer reaches just the heel end of the crest. So the crest is going to go boosh. The surfer is right there, and that's when they stand, because they're paddling to get into the momentum. It's like running alongside a horse that you want to jump on. Paddle, 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 paddle. When they get the momentum and they stand, now they can navigate with their feet how they want to leverage the wave. Meanwhile, people on the beach, seeing these huge waves coming, they panic, they turn, they run. They're slower than the wave. The wave is bearing down on them. It's going to hit them. It's not a tsunami, but it's a big wave. And if it's a little kid, the likelihood is that when the wave hits, the kid is going to go skafloosh and cry, get sand all in his bathing suit. Surfer has had no fear. The surfer has planned how to leverage momentum, energy, so that the energy carries him or her or them where they want to go. If the surfer sat out there saying, "Oh, this is really hard. I should this, I could this, I don't know, but I want to, need to, have to. You know what? I deserve a perfect wave today. I deserve a perfect wave. Let's do this. Let's get on it. Paddle, 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 paddle." Whether we make it on that wave or not, we have a greater likelihood of making it on that wave if we go in with the right mood, with the right intention, with the right ownership. So if anyone, Sky, anyone is choosing something that feels a little scary, but also exciting because it's different, we need thumbs up, attaboys and attagirls and goes. You got this. We got this. We're behind you. Because difference, change, scary, never tried, is unfamiliar territory. That it's unfamiliar has nothing to do with our ability, just unfamiliar. One time and it's familiar. One time and we've done it before. You never forget falling off a bicycle. You never forget riding a bicycle. You never forget the first time you could actually drive a car. Back in the day when you had manual transmission, manual transmission, we never forget the day we stopped driving down the highway like a bunny rabbit. And I have to tell you, speaking on behalf of the unforgettables, the day we choose to own, the day we realize we are efficiently removing unhelpful language from our habit vocabulary bank, is a great day. They're all great days. And the change isn't scary. The change is awesome. Because remember, change is only hard when we didn't think of it, when we didn't own it, when we didn't say, I could dye my hair green. Should I? No. Would I? Maybe. Why am I using that language? To see if you're paying attention. Okay, that is my message for today. It is not the destination. It is the journey. The destination is not where the feeling is. It's the arrival. It's the challenge met and mastered. The X on the map is when we say, I am here. The X on the map is also the starting point for the next journey, because change never stops. Cool, huh? So more on this as we go on, because understanding, wrapping our heads around how to think about change and how to think about our language and how to think about the way we have learned words that take our power away, and how to replace them with words that give our power back to us. Words we choose. Because, by the way, we're in charge. So if it's a struggle, we could be framing it the wrong way. We could simply be using the wrong words. I just used the word could twice. It's possible that we are using the wrong words. It's possible that we're simply on autopilot. And what a great opportunity to wake up and say, oh, I just did it again. If we do it again, when we do it again, it is simply a lesson. It is our opportunity to see and hear and pay attention and be present and accounted for, instead of half, giving it half, talking while we're scrolling on our phone, missing out on the best. It's a different perspective. It is outside our current comfort zone. It's in a better comfort zone. It's in a bigger comfort zone with wider horizons and shoes and costumes and favorite characters and personalities, things about ourselves we really, really like. And that's where we deserve to be. Agreed? Agreed. Okay. Stuff to do, places to go, people to see. I spoke to one of my kids last night who lives in Los Angeles now, and they are fine. And I got the update on several of my other kids who are in Los Angeles. And by my kids, I mean my show business kids. And so that was very comforting. And certainly he was very pleased that I reached out. We had a great exchange. And what appears to be happening, just for any of us who are concerned about the updates, what appears to be happening is the winds are shifting and the fire is turning back on itself, and there's no fuel, right? Because it can't really, so it's petering out. In other areas, it is ramping up. However, there are people on the ground now. There are boots on the ground, and everyone is in attack, defend, protect, correct mode, instead of what, when, let me get my boots. So they're in the present mode, and everybody is working on it. For the people in the middle of the country where the snow and the ice and all that have been really bad, in the moments when we are in weather that we're not prepared for, it can really feel defeating. It's a very important lesson when you suddenly realize that you're in your car and you're going to be stuck in your car for hours and you don't have anything in the car to make that easier for you. The first thing that people do when they get home after an event usually is relief, lie down, hug each other. The second thing that is an important priority to create is get that box, get that suitcase, get that storage tub, fill it with the things that you needed and didn't have. Correct the problem before it happens again. It's an amazing lesson to be given, right? So in the middle of the country, snow, in the middle of the country, icy roads, in the middle of the country, slow deliveries of products and services that are coming by truck, slow delivery of products and services that are coming by plane. And so we all need to take a breath. We all deserve to give ourselves a break. Delivery was estimated at this day. Nature had other plans. It will arrive. Yes, but everything's ruined. The things we had hoped for are going to happen differently. This is how we own rather than feel overwhelmed. And the other way, very important, costs us nothing. Hug your loved ones. Hug the people you love who love you back. This is how we start to be good to us. When we lose people and in the midst of other crises, our loss feels disregarded, diminished. It feels like we've been forgotten. We haven't. We're not forgotten. We're never forgotten. Remember that. I had an outreach last night from somebody who said, my mother performed with you at the Auto Little Theater when I was a little girl. Do you remember her? And gave me the name. And I did remember her mother, and she was lovely, and I said so. And the girl replied, I remember watching you. You were really funny. And one of my paparazzi photographers jumped in and she said, and she still is funny. Believe me, I know. So on that happy note, we can always find the joy. It's easier to find the joy when we stop clinging to the pain. Okay? We can only hold one thing at a time. Let's choose joy. I will see you, talk to you. We will discuss the next topic this Thursday. This would not be the same without you. 323 videos would not be possible without you. I am very, very grateful. I am so excited that you come. Please remember to tell your friends that it's a good time. It's always 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Abby time, and it's always right here. And you can then watch it again because it's also simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. And of course, a Facebook Live you can come back and watch later. And then I repost on LinkedIn. So there's all kinds of places where you can find me. Okay? So until next time. I'm walking here. Yes, you are, Eddie Flies. Yes, you are. All right. Catch you next time.